The executive director of Illumination, Chris Meledandri, announced that DreamWorks has officially begun working on Shrek 5. Chris himself will serve as the producer for this project, lending credibility to his statement. The studio had previously hinted at the potential sequel on social media, a move eagerly anticipated by millions of fans. Discussions about a fifth part have been ongoing since as far back as 2010, following the release of Shrek Forever After. At that time, screenwriters John Klausner and Darren Lemke even mentioned having a storyline ready for the fifth movie, though the project never materialized. A release date in March 2014 had been reserved for the next Shrek installment, but it was ultimately replaced by Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Nevertheless, nearly 15 years later, Shrek 5 has been officially announced. The decision to resume full-scale production at DreamWorks came after the success of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which grossed nearly $500 million at the box office. What's even more important is that it became one of the audience's favorite animated movies of the year. However, this success wasn't the sole factor influencing the fate of Shrek 5. The Puss in Boots sequel's ending had already teased the continuation of the whole franchise. As you may already know, this is why the official statements from the studio's executives are not surprising at all. Regarding the production status, Shrek 5 is currently in the script approval stage. The project has dozens of ready drafts that could serve as a foundation, but personally, I believe we will see a completely new story. Jeffrey Katzenberg had stated a year ago that the Shrek franchise might undergo a soft reboot. This could involve introducing new characters and locations while resetting certain storylines to establish an updated canon. Furthermore, there is confirmed information that DreamWorks was impressed by the team of artists who worked on Puss in Boots 2. It's reported that the creators intend to maintain this animation style for the new Shrek. Interestingly, the artists themselves mentioned that their style was inspired by Sony's Spider-Verse, which we saw some similarities to on the screen. In any case, Illumination has extended their contract with the team, so there's no need to worry about the visual aspect of Shrek 5. Chris Meledandri also mentioned that they will soon begin active negotiations with the actors from the previous movies in the franchise, including Mike Myers as Shrek, Cameron Diaz as Fiona, and Eddie Murphy returning as Donkey. The actors themselves have expressed their desire to work on a new part of the legendary series, with Eddie Murphy even suggesting that his character should have his own spin-off. He believes that Donkey is much more interesting than Puss, who already has 2 full-length solo movies and a series. Murphy has even tried to encourage DreamWorks to create a 90s comedies-inspired movie centered around Donkey, providing a draft script that delves into the character's origin story before he met Shrek. However, that's not quite what the audience is looking for. We need Shrek 5, and the studio understands this perfectly. During the premiere of Puss in Boots 2 at the Red Sea Film Festival, Antonio Banderas revealed that Shrek will return with 5th movie. At the time, his words were initially dismissed as a marketing ploy to promote The Last Wish. However, after watching the sequel, it became clear that he meant exactly what he said. Banderas also stated that he is always ready to reprise his role as Puss in future projects. I am greatly pleased by the enthusiasm of the original cast and the determination of the producers. Hollywood is currently undergoing another revolution, with many studios realizing that new projects without an established background don't perform as well as sequels and spin-offs from well-known franchises. Even DreamWorks, after the disappointing performance of Ruby Gillman, quickly understood that it's more logical to continue what works instead of reinventing the wheel. This strategy makes a lot of sense, considering the number of successful films from the studio. However, it requires time and a good script. If they make Shrek 5 solely for the sake of profit, the producers may face another flop, tarnishing the reputation of the legendary series. The key is to bring a fresh approach, as was seen with The Last Wish. There's no need to rush, as they are not only working on the 5th Shrek, but also Kung Fu Panda 4 and Sing 3. All these projects require close attention and hard work. Only then will DreamWorks stay at the top. Meanwhile, Disney has also adopted a similar strategy. Bob Iger, who returned as the boss in November of last year, expressed his intention to restore the studio's former glory and achieve record profitability. He immediately announced sequels to the most successful hits, including Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, and Zootopia 2. This suggests that the competitive race between Disney and DreamWorks will gain new rage, and it will be clearer than ever whose franchises are considered more successful. Shrek 5 is a strong card up the sleeve in this competition, as the first movie once outperformed Pixar, winning an Academy Award and becoming a true masterpiece that people want to rewatch again and again. The Shrek series is remembered for its satirical take on Disney's culture, with its naive princesses and predictable storylines. While these projects were aimed at a younger audience, the creators were not afraid to address controversial themes and include adult humor. However, this was decades ago. Today, the world and society society have changed, and so have the nature of movies, as many now shy away from post-irony. Perhaps the main achievement of Shrek lies in its entirely new type of humor, previously unseen in mainstream animated projects. It is coarse, eccentric, and often far from child-friendly, but most importantly, it is thoroughly postmodern. The entire plot is essentially a big parody of classic Disney films. However, how will these elements be translated into the fifth movie? This does raise some concerns, even though many are eagerly awaiting it. Do you not feel that the present day might not be the right time for new Shrek? Either the fifth part will be a project that remains isolated and keeps the spirit of the 2000s, or the producers will try to focus on the issues that currently concern society. In a time when mediocre projects with double standards propaganda are hitting the screens, the uniqueness of Shrek 5 is at risk. Nonetheless, it all depends on the scriptwriters. Will they be able to continue the franchise in a worthy manner, or will we end up with an unnecessary parasite trying to cash in on nostalgia? Shrek 5 must become exactly what the industry needs now. A breath of fresh air, boldness, and innovation, both technically and in terms of the storyline. The creators should not be afraid to break out of genre cliches, because it was precisely such a risky move that brought success to the entire franchise and saved the entire studio from bankruptcy. In this era of reimagined franchises, DreamWorks is keen to harness the nostalgia factor while delivering a fresh, relevant story. Whether the new Shrek can capture the essence of the original and cater to both longtime fans and a new generation of viewers remains a critical question. It's not just a matter of releasing Shrek 5 for profit. The focus is on delivering a meaningful and entertaining continuation of a beloved story. The success of this venture depends on the ability to bring a fresh approach and remain true to the series' core values while adapting to contemporary sensibilities. DreamWorks faces the challenge of striking a balance between nostalgia and innovation, maintaining the franchise's unique brand of humor while addressing contemporary themes and expectations. The studio must take a measured approach to ensure Shrek 5 meets the high expectations of its dedicated fan base. The excitement around is palpable, and while many questions remain, the anticipation for a new adventure with Shrek and his companions is building. In any case, the fifth movie is sure to be a box office hit. We haven't seen Shrek on the big screen since 2010, except for his cameo in Puss in Boots 2, which generated a huge amount of hype among fans. As of now, the creators are keeping quiet and not rushing to disclose plot details and production information. The release date for the movie has not been announced yet. Considering that Shrek 5 has just entered production, the premiere won't be anytime soon. We can anticipate the comeback of this legendary franchise around 2025-2026. The tale of Shrek, the ogre who won our hearts and challenged the norms of traditional fairy tales, is poised for an intriguing new chapter. As DreamWorks gears up for new chapter, there's an air of anticipation, curiosity, and excitement in the world of animation. Will Shrek and his pals deliver another unforgettable adventure that captures the spirit of its predecessors and speaks to today's audiences? Only time will tell. Subscribe.